Good morning, this is Attorney Vincent Davis. This is Get Your Kids Back Now. This show is dedicated to keeping families together and to fighting the tyranny of CPS and DCFS social workers. A secondary purpose of the show is to educate parents and relatives, or to at least show them where to get the necessary information for their fight. The final purpose of the show is to remind the people that change can be effectuated at the ballot box at the state and federal levels. Let us unite, vote, and elect those who will make the necessary changes. Good morning, you're on with Attorney Vincent Davis.
Hi, I'm calling on behalf of my family. My children were taken away from us on December 12th last year, and it came about because I was working in Vermont. We live up here in San Joaquin County, and my wife and 3 children were here. Actually, the initial time that I got taken from the home was in October, because I was back in Vermont. My wife had to serve some time because some DUIs that she had. She settled that, and she was working toward, getting all her legal matters in order in October. And she missed a court date, so they issued a bench warrant in kindergarten. The kids were here. We had planned to deal with that. I was going to come back at the end of October. She had a court date set at the end of October that we were going to deal with the rest of the criminal matter. Unfortunately, this bench warrant got served prior to me coming back. So the children were taken from the home. At that point, I came back at the end of October, and I was able to get the children back from come back to me my own behest, I guess, put it that way. My wife then moved and dealt with the rest of her time in jail, which was 30 days. And when I was getting the children back here in San Joaquin County, I was told that my wife would not be allowed back in the house without CPS supervision. So she got out of jail on November 30th. She had nowhere else to go. I didn't have any way to pay for her to go anywhere else, except for those one night we put up in a hotel. So she had to stay out on the street by herself. And there was no there was no protective order against her coming into the house, back in the house with kids. But there was a court order. Well, I couldn't have my wife stay on the street. So I let her back in the house. And, the mom, she's the mom of my children, right? So she's not a danger to the children. I'm not a danger to the children. So we had court date on December 12th, as I mentioned, when the day the kids got taken. I unfortunately didn't know, but I didn't need to have, or I didn't have to have a CPS person into my house. I didn't know that. I was someone, ignorant of that fact. So, the CPS person came in and she indicated that, well, I'm here just to make sure your house is okay before the court hearing today. So, the intention was to get the kids back. So, she came in and then she found my wife here. And then when we went to court that afternoon, they determined that we violated court order, and they took the kids away on December 12th. So, since then, we had no court date to set, I guess it's called the jurisdiction disposition, and that has yet to occur. But unfortunately, Mr. Davis, we didn't have the information that we found from you last week, and we started getting educated. So it just took too long to get your good information. We read through your publication and found that we, as well as not needing to deal with CPS directly, we found some other information that was extremely helpful. Our next court date is December 7th. I really feel that we have a possibility of getting to that, but from the information coming from CPS and the lawyers, that might not occur. The fact that on the parties involved, the attorneys for the children, the attorneys for CPS, or even our own attorneys, they're all getting paid from one bucket, right? So it was difficult to navigate and manage a fair trial, I think, when everybody's all on one side versus you and the parents. I do have a question, and that is, that it seems that as we go through this process, my wife and I, that the CPS and like the court system, they want to separate. We're married. We're staying married. We've been married for 16 years. We're not trying to get divorced. We're not trying to be separated. But it seems like the parties in the legal system and the CPS and even maybe some family members are trying to separate us, my wife and I. And we keep asking, well, why do you want to see us separately? Why do you want to talk to us separately? We're one unit. Why do you want to do that? Now, I mean, logically, it's, it makes sense that it's easier to divide and conquer. I get that. But legally, do they have a right to do that? I just don't understand why. We've been a family for, my oldest child is 10. My youngest is 3. And we've been together, been doing well as a family until this occurrence. We've had no problems. Perfect. So I'm just wondering why, is there a legal way to have us represented as one parental unit? That's one of my primary questions.
Okay, so let me answer that for you. There are laws in every state, including California, about what an attorney can do as far as representation, who he can represent in a case. So, for example, an attorney can't represent people that have a conflict of interest. Now, I'm just giving you the general rule. There are many exceptions. Sometimes the analysis gets very complex. But I can tell you as a matter of practice, I've been a lawyer 31 years now. As a matter of practice, I do not represent parents in your situation or any juvenile dependency case, any CPS case. I don't represent both of them. There are a lot of dangers for not only the parents, but also for the attorney in doing that. And here, let me tell you one of the dangers, okay? I'll tell you a couple dangers. Number one, if you have the same attorney, the attorney can't effectually, zealously advocate for both parents at the same time, because the case that you described to me, the case is very different from the eyes of the mother and the eyes of the father. It's different factually, it's different legally. So how is one person going to advocate effectively for two different situations in the same case? Number two, it's a danger for the attorney in that one or both of you could later sue the attorney and, for legal malpractice. Because in my opinion, this could, and I didn't say would, I said this could be a form of legal malpractice. And if you lose your children and don't get them back, that attorney is going to be facing possible liability. And even though you say right now, oh, it's okay to do it, that may not be enough to stop you from suing the attorney. Because even if you said okay, you'll also say, the attorney should have told this, should have knew that, and not represented both of us. Even though you're saying right now, we want to be represented by the same attorney. Now here's the third thing, and it's probably the most important thing for most attorneys. Let's say you had an attorney represent both of you. Later on, you are subjecting that attorney, you may, or your wife may make a complaint against the attorney with the State Bar of California. And, the State Bar could start an investigation which could lead to the attorney losing his or her license. I'm pretty sure that, 99.999% of all attorneys, no matter how much money you pay them, isn't going to want to do that. They don't want to take the chance. They don't want to take the chance of losing their license or being disciplined because you and your wife felt at one particular point in time that you guys wanted to be represented by the same attorney. When you ask someone to represent both parents in a CPS case, what you're asking for is that attorney to take a really big risk, that you'll always love him and that you'll always be his friend, and his license will never be in jeopardy. Attorneys probably aren't willing to do that.